Friends, 1293 days of war between Russia and Ukraine, and I will bring updates from the war zone, what has happened in last 2 days. But in addition, before that, I will be talking about some important events that is taking place globally. In Middle East, Palestine Lebanon Israel war, IDF bombed Harmal in northeast Lebanon with fighter jets, killing few of the civilian citizens, while it continues destroying infrastructures in Gaza, on which Netanyahu is feeling proud of his army. But in the meantime, 4 civilians were killed and 10 injured in Jerusalem in some form of sudden attacks by the resistance forces, while UAVs hit airports in Israel launched by the Houthis. However, they failed to reach to the Ukrainian facilities. Israel also bombed one of the ships which were part of flotilla Sumut at Tunisia, causing fire in it. On interdiction missions, Ukrainians launched combined attacks, especially on Donetsk, also Gorlovka, Makivka within it, with storm shadows, cruise missiles, artillery, UAVs, and which started 7 p.m. yesterday. It was 82nd anniversary of the Donbass liberation, that is 8 September 1943, which was the next victory of the USSR after having taken over Kursk. Perchance or a planned one, Russians have claimed to shot down 195 UAVs. In its term, Russians also used Cub loitering munitions, Grad MLRS UAVs over Odisha, Kryvyi Rog, and elsewhere. Now let us see what is happening on the ground in South Ukraine, Velika Mikhailivka, in Dnipro, Petrovsk regions adjacent to Zaporozhye. Russians took over Shikniv, Khorosha, and Voron almost, while advancing in Novosolivka and East Sosnovka. In East Ukraine on Pokrovsk sector, Russians' offensive operation is on and advancing towards Dobropilia. Russians have firmly established in Kucherev Yar here, counterattacks by Ukrainians on. In Pokrovsk Mirnograd sector, Ukrainians counterattack near Nikhanorivka continuing, while RFA, that is Russians, took over forest near Pokrovsk by advancing 600 meters. Konstantinivka and Druzhkivka area heavy fight continues. Russians are advancing from many directions like Kramatorsk and Stupochki, which is in Chasov, also from Toretsk, and from south they are advancing from Toretsk side. In northeast Ukraine, fight is on in Limansk, Kreminna direction where Russians are gradually advancing, while in Kupyansk, Ukrainian counter-attack part of the city where Russians had displayed their flags. That means the situation is pretty volatile and not a constant borderline. Volchansk situation is similar, while in Sumy, Russians have almost taken over Yunakivka, except southern part where Ukrainians counterattack continuing. They also continuing counterattack towards Alexiivka, Andrivka, and Novokonstantinovka, which is Pershi Travany, but no success. In the meantime, there are protests report coming in from all over the world. In Nepal, which is on the northern border of India, there are protests against ban on social media, which has been lifted, yet it is continuing. It seems there are some hands from the India which wants it to re-establish kingdom. There were protests in Mexico in hundreds of thousands, 70,000 in Brussels, Belgium, and elsewhere. And finally, whatever is happening on the global front, on the political economy, about various kinds of trade or tariff war, is nothing else but the fight among the capitalist imperialist oligarchs, Zionist fascist Nazis regime. It is not by the people for the people and of the people by any chance. And the only end of this, and even the world war that we are heading into, or climate degeneration, is by the people, working people globally. And unless they take over, in fact, they are fighting for it, but they are not sure which path to follow. And they know such revolutionary or other parties which could lead them. And that is the problem. And there, where we have to understand, learn, reteach ourselves, re educate ourselves. And that's all for the day, friends. Thank you.